Hello, everyone. Good evening and welcome to this session. I hope I'm audible and the screen is visible. Can anyone who confirm who have joined? You can type it in the chat so that I get a confirmation that I'm audible to you all. Hello? Is anyone there? Please type it in the chat. Shall we begin with the session? Okay, I request you all to please ping your friends and ask them to join as early as possible so that they don't miss it. So, good evening and welcome to you all to this session by PharmaElite on career opportunities after B.Pharm. So, I believe some of you might be aware what this session is. ऑल्सो जो लोग हमें फार्माइलेट को यूट्यूब या इंस्टाग्राम में फॉलो करते हैं तो आई एम श्योर यू माइट हैव सीन आवर पोस्ट्स एंड वीडियोस रिगार्डिंग व्हाट फार्माइलाइट इज डूइंग एंड हाउ आर वी वर्किंग ऑन द सेम. So, just to give you some more insights and help you figure out things, we are here today for this session. So, please stay throughout the session. If you have any doubts, कुछ समझना है, कुछ repeat करना है, कुछ questions है, feel free to put it in the chat box. I have an eye on the chat box. I will be happy to help you for any queries that you have. Okay. So, first thing, when we say career opportunities after B.Pharm, now why is it so important to discuss this at this point of time? Because see, we all had some choices or some decisions that we took after our 12th standard, which made us enter into field of B.Pharm. बट अब आगे जाके क्या करना है? पढ़ाई कंटिन्यू करनी है, जॉब करना है, बिजनेस करना है. There are so many different options. At least after 12th, we had that we have to pick up a bachelor's degree, either engineering or this or some or the other choice. But after your bachelor's, the things are different and you need to make a choice wisely because that's going to decide your entire career and future. So we at PharmaElite are here to guide you for the same. Acha, before proceeding further, I would like to know which year from B.Pharm or which semester you guys are from, whether it's second semester, third, fourth, whichever. You can just type it in the chat. So, whenever you're going to complete your B.Pharm, maybe 1 year later or 2 years later, this is going to be a question to you that what are you supposed to do? You have already finished 8 semesters of your academics, but what next? So, the options could be different. We need to understand certain points or certain important things that you need to consider for selecting your career. Whether you want to pursue further studies, then okay, it's just not that कि मुझे पढ़ाई करनी है, but what do you want to study, what kind of masters do you want to do, or do you also have plans for pursuing PhD, then what would be the right way to proceed at the moment. So there are n number of questions which come, and it is not just that I want to study further. Also, when you talk about business, there are so many opportunities that come. So startup is a very common word that you might have heard today. Whether you want to do a startup, whether you want to start your own production business, that is, you want to set up a pharmaceutical unit, or you want to just go and work in an industry or a corporate, then also the job opportunities are several, starting from right from the basics, that is after B.Pharm, if you go for a job opportunity, the things are going to be different. Whereas अगर आप M.Pharm या MS या MBA करके जॉब करना चाहते हो, तो the opportunities are different. We will discuss all this as we move further. So, what are the points that you will consider for selecting your career or selecting what to do in academics? So, first thing is, आप जो चीज करना चाहते हो उसको स्कोप कितना है, ये सबसे पहले जानना जरूरी है. So, whether you want to do MS or whether you want to do M.Pharm or you prefer doing MBA, it's your choice, but you need to see what is the scope of that study. हमें कोई भी ऐसी डिग्री या ऐसी पढ़ाई नहीं करनी है कि जिसको आगे जाके स्कोप नहीं है. Say consider there are some courses which are very niche and rarely found at certain universities or colleges. They might be good in terms of academic perspectives and learning experience, but do they have a scope in future? If you do something, say MS in genome technology or something, this niche kind of thing, I'm not saying it's wrong or bad, but what is its future scope? Similarly, Farm D is one such thing which is not having a great scope presently in India, at least. As a education and opportunity to pursue, definitely yes. But what are you going to do after it? Whereas अगर आप कंपेयर करोगे तो MS, M.Pharm and MBA करोगे तो you have hundreds of job opportunities and future options awaiting you. आप academics में भी continue कर सकते हो, आप इंडस्ट्री में जा सकते हो, या तो बिजनेस पर्सपेक्टिव से भी देख सकते हो. सो मेक श्योर दैट यू अंडरस्टैंड द स्कोप ऑफ योर स्टडीज. जबकि आप अपने लाख लाख रुपया फीस भर के यू स्पेंडिंग 2 years ऑफ योर टाइम, ऑलरेडी 4 years यू आर डूइंग इन योर बैचलर्स, another 2 years you're putting your efforts and money and resources. So make sure that you're doing a right choice. Also see what are the placements that are offered. तो आई एम श्योर ये क्वेश्चन तो आप सबको आता होगा कि व्हाट शुड आई डू आफ्टर माय बी फार्म. मैं कौन सी कॉलेज से एम फार्म करूँ, या मैं कौन से कॉलेज से MS करूँ या MBA करूँ. तो ऑलवेज रिमेंबर वन थिंग, to pursue your MS, and that too if you want to pursue MS in India, NIPER is the only option. That is, there are 7 NIPERs in India, and these are the colleges which give you an MS degree in India. Whereas all other colleges or any private or autonomous universities will be giving you an M.Pharm degree. So अगर आप MS करना चाहते हो तो your focus is very clear, the picture is clear, you have to be in NIPER. And there are so many advantages of being in NIPER, which I will tell you. And if you are a follower of PHARMAELITE, I'm sure you have already heard it. If not, make sure you follow our YouTube and Instagram channel right away, and you will understand why we are saying NIPER. This year, 10% of the NIPER students overall, from overall thousands of students going in NIPER, 10% are from PHARMAELITE. We had around 12 to 20 top rankers which were from PHARMAELITE. So what is it so special about NIPER? One thing, NIPER is a very well reputed institute, very distinguished faculty, and also being in government college, your fees are not that great. Why not that great on a higher side? While if you compare it with private universities, you'll have to spend a huge amount of fees, around 8 to 10 lakhs. Whereas in NIPER, the fees are just 3 lakhs for your 2 years of MS course. And being a government college, NIPER does offer you stipend. So you can cover up your fees very easily with the stipend you receive. While if you go for private college, of course the education is good, the opportunities and amenities are good, but the fees are huge and you cannot manage it with the stipend. You'll have to put money from your pocket. तो अभी आप नाइपर कैसे जाओगे? तो नाइपर जाने के लिए नाइपर की एग्जाम तो लिखनी ही है ऑब्वियसली, बट यू नीड टू ऑल्सो क्लियर GPAT एग्जाम. Does anyone know what is the full form of GPAT? Yes, please be active so that you don't feel sleepy in the session. You can type in the chat box what is the full form of GPAT. I'm sure you might have heard this. It's nothing new that I'm telling. GPAT to सबको पता है. Yeah, Akash, Ridnya, anybody else in the session? What is the full form of GPAT? You can reply in the chat so that I understand that you all are getting what I'm trying to convey. Yes, Vaishnavi, absolutely correct. Thank you. So GPAT is Graduate Pharmacy Aptitude Test. So ये एक एंट्रेंस एग्जाम है जो आपको आपके बी फार्म के बाद देना जरूरी है. अगर आप एम फार्म करना चाहे, एम एस करना चाहे, and MBA as well in case of NIPER. However, if you go to IIMs and other colleges, their exams are different. That is, you'll have to clear GATE or CAT or any other exam. But however, if you want to do Pharm MBA from NIPER also, so in that case, GPAT is a mandatory requirement. अगर आप GPAT qualified हो, तो ही आप NIPER के लिए eligible हो. If you do not qualify GPAT, you're not eligible for NIPER. Whereas you can still try for some other private colleges and universities, but NIPER does not take people who are not GPAT qualified. So your first basic criteria for entry is GPAT qualification, and then you will have to sit for NIPER exam, clear that entrance, and there are 7 NIPERs in India. So इतना तो मुझे नहीं लगता है कि it is that difficult. अगर आप अभी से preparation करना चालू करोगे, if you are in second year, you have another 2 years time in your hand to target these 7 colleges, and I'm pretty sure you all might do it. So if you have cleared your GPAT, you have an opportunity to move to NIPER by clearing NIPER JEE as well. Whereas if you do not clear this, you will have to give other entrance exams like BITS HD, MET, ICT, different entrance exams for the respective colleges or universities, which is again a different set of things that you'll have to do. But if you prepare very well for GPAT, clearing this any other exam is going to be easy. And please go to our YouTube channel. You will find a video. We have done a lot of sessions before, and maybe we can do someday with you all as well on how to prepare for GPAT, how to qualify GPAT, and jump into your dream college or university. So there are certain tips, tricks, and strategies that we have been doing for years, and that is being proved by the success of our students at PHARMAELITE, that how these tips and tricks have helped them. So ये सब के लिए अलग प्रिपरेशन की जरूरत क्यों है? अभी आपने आपके 12th स्टैंडर्ड के बाद भी कोई तो सीईटी एग्जाम लिखा होगा टू एंटर इनटू द बी फार्म वेरेवर यू आर स्टडिंग प्रेजेंटली, बट अभी आगे जाके आपको जीपैट लिखनी है विच इज नेशनल लेवल, सो दैट यू आर गोइंग टू बी एलिजिबल to get an admission across any of the colleges or universities wherever you are, or if you wish to relocate to a better place. So make sure that you start your preparation right from your second year, third year, जहाँ भी आप presently हो, because you need to prepare differently for this exams. ये सब exams की पढ़ाई अपने थियरी और सेमेस्टर एग्जाम से अलग होती है. क्यों, कैसे? I think that would be a separate topic of discussion, but I can just give you a quick brief. देखो, ये सभी एग्जाम्स में आपको आते हैं सिर्फ एमसीक्यू बेस्ड क्वेश्चंस, जहाँ पे आपको कंसेप्ट अंडरस्टैंडिंग कितना स्ट्रांग है ये चीज देखी जाती है. Whereas in your theory exams, you need to write a 10 marks question or you need to write a 5 marks question का आंसर. So आप कितना बड़ा चढ़ा के आंसर लिख पाते हो, कितनी अच्छे से थियरी डिस्कस कर पाते हो, इस चीज पे फोकस रहता है. Whereas in your entrance exams, nobody is going to ask you to write a 10 marks answer. आपको सिर्फ 4 ऑप्शंस में से सही जवाब चुनना है, बट वो सही जवाब कौन सा है ये जानने के लिए your concept and basic understanding has to be very thorough. For that, you need to study for at least 1 to 2 years. Wherever you are right now, start at this point, I would say. If you have 1 year in your hand, you just have a limited amount of time. While if you have 2 or 2.5 years in your hand, you're lucky enough, you have an extensive time, but you make sure you use it wisely so that until your GPAT comes in 2024 or 2025, you have enough of time in your hand and you have prepared well from all other sides, because this requires a different perspective and preparation, mainly presence of mind and practice. Because there is negative marking. I believe you might have heard it before. So at least to qualify the exam, GPAT का अगर देखें तो there are total 125 questions. Out of 125, at least minimum around 70 to 80 you should get correct, so that you can balance upon something that you have done wrong and negatives to qualify. बिकॉज ये क्वालिफिकेशन तो मैंडेटरी है, तो ही आप नाइपर लिख पाओगे. अगर आप यही क्वालिफाई नहीं कर पाए तो रीचिंग हियर इज नॉट इन टू पिक्चर. So make sure that you are having this state. This is just a qualification. Again, as our target is AIR 01 rank, then you should have at least 120 out of 125 questions correct to be in the top 10 ranks or top 5 ranks in India, all India ranks. And yes, believe me, this is not difficult or not impossible. अगर आप करना चाहे, अगर आप आज से डे 0 से dedication दिखाए and you prepare in the right direction, you can do it, and people have done it. So it's not that it's impossible. You just need the right direction and focus for it. So to get 70 to 80 correct, there is a strategy for which you need to follow. You need to study accordingly. And then only you can understand how these concepts that you have learned for 8 semesters can be applied in terms of MCQ logics. And you can just go to our YouTube channel and see the previous videos posted, wherein you will find a lot of detailed explanation on how to prepare for all this, how different subjects can be handled. And also one more thing, you need to know कि ये सारे एग्जाम्स में कौन से सब्जेक्ट्स में मेजर फोकस होता है. क्या मैं वो सब्जेक्ट्स में ठीक से, am I having strong concept understanding about that, or a little weaker and I need to improve it. See, chemistry, pharmacology, pharmaceutics have always been on the top priority. So if you're someone who finds, say, chemistry very easy but pharmacology difficult, you need to improve on it, because this is always going to be there. Maybe you can ignore a particular thing in your theory exam saying optional में question चला जाएगा या 10 mark का है, but you cannot do that in your entrance exam. You need to know it, because that's going to be a major thing in your paper. And every single mark or every single thing will affect your rank and your future. It is unlike your theory exam that एक paper या एक question चला गया तो कर लेंगे. That is not going to work for entrance exams. Also, when you're choosing your course, whether it is MS or MPharm, you need to see उसका future perspective, scope. जैसे placement situation क्या है. अगर आपके college या university आप नाइपर गए, you'll get decent placements. You'll go to BITS and Manipal or ICT. They are known for their placements. However, if you end up going in some other colleges, if they are not able to offer you placements, how are you going to do it for yourself? Which are the companies that are there? अगर आप चाहे कि आप MPharm pharmacology करें या आप फार्मा MBA करें नाइपर से, यू नीड टू नो कि इसके लिए कौन सी कंपनीज हायरिंग के लिए आती है, इस चीज का आगे कितना स्कोप है, पैकेज कितना मिल पा रहा है. You need to know that if it is worth your time and investment. Say if you put 10 lakhs for your education and bits, but if you choose a subject or a stream which is not having that great placements, if you do something for which there are only, say, 10 companies in India, are you sure that you will get into those 10? Whereas अगर आप pharmaceutics ले, pharmacology ले, these are going to be all time booming in pharma industry. You will have at least 20 to 25 recruiters who will come, because there is a never ending demand for all these things. So make sure you choose your career and stream rightly. देन ऑल्सो विद रिगार्ड्स टू वर्क लोकेशन, कि आप जिस डोमेन में काम करना चाहते हो. अब मान लो अभी आप अगर मुंबई में रह रहे हो, तो ऑब्वियसली योर फर्स्ट प्रेफरेंस वुड बी some of the industries or companies, corporates around you. But if you choose, say, some other subject, say you choose pharmacovigilance, जिसके ज्यादा प्लेसमेंट्स मान लो अगर पुणे में है या गुड़गांव में है या कोच्चि केरला में है, are you willing to relocate for it? So choose your stream and domain of interest based upon your this convenience as well. कि अगर इस प्लेसमेंट को मुझे कहीं relocate होना पड़े, तो am I ready for it? Because it should not happen that 2 years ago you made a choice, you went into pharmacology, you got a good job into pharmacovigilance, but the location is somewhere else and you are not okay with it. So always make a right choice, thinking about your placement, thinking about your future, and all other factors into consideration. Also, with regards to package, see, as I said, there should always be a return on investment that is called as ROI. बिकॉज सी, जैसे मैंने आपको नाइपर में कहा, आप जीपैट क्वालिफाइड होने के बाद ही नाइपर जाओगे तो आपको स्टाइपेंड मिलेगा. हर एक जीपैट क्वालिफाइड स्टूडेंट को 12,400 रुपीज पर मंथ स्टाइपेंड आता है गवर्नमेंट से. So you count 12,400 into 2 years of your masters. You will get somewhere around 2 to 3 lakhs of stipend, which will cover your fees for NIPER. Whereas if you go into private universities, you will have to spend money from your pocket. So are you going to get a package which you desire, which will fulfill your needs and also give you a return upon what you have invested? Is a major thing you need to see, because already आपने बी फार्म में कुछ 3-4 लाख खर्चा किया होगा आपके बैचलर्स के लिए. On top of it, you're paying for your masters. So is it going to be worth it? What is the package you will get? See, if you go through our placement records and other things also about NIPER has offered packages up to 25 to 28 LPA also in certain cases for very exceptionally well performing candidates. So there are companies which offer this, whereas there are on the other hand companies which just offer you 2 to 3 LPA at the beginning. Yes, this does happen even today. Even if you have done masters, whether it is from any well reputed college, you might even start as low as 2 to 3 LPA, or you might even be in somewhere range of 10 LPA, 25 LPA. So you got to see which stream to choose, जिस कौन सी अपनी पसंद का स्ट्रीम है, what is the future scope of it, and are you willing to do it? एंड ऑल्सो अगर आप अभी मान लो कि आप बी फार्म के बाद ही इंडस्ट्री में चले गए, दैट्स फाइन इफ यू डू नॉट हैव अ डिजायर टू स्टडी फर्दर, इफ यू वांट टू वर्क एट दिस पॉइंट. बट अगेन गोइंग फर्दर आप देखोगे तो यू विल हैव कॉम्पिटिटर्स फ्रॉम बीएससी एंड एमएससी बैकग्राउंड हु विल compete with you at बी फार्म लेवल. तो ये जो बीएससी एमएससी करने वाले होते हैं, इफ दे हैव डन बीएससी केमिस्ट्री और बीएससी बायोटेक्नोलॉजी और एमएससी, देयर कॉन्सेप्ट अंडरस्टैंडिंग इज स्ट्रॉन्गर इन दैट केस कंपेयर टू बी फार्म, क्योंकि हमें एक ही सब्जेक्ट होता है एनालिसिस या बायोटेक्नोलॉजी का, एंड देयर एंटायर लाइफ ऑफ 3 years हैज बीन इनटू दैट. सो इंडस्ट्री विल प्रेफर देम ओवर यू if you are just a B farm candidate. Understanding? सबको समझ रहा है मैं क्या बोल रही हूँ? Any doubts? Any questions? Yes? समझ रहा है अभी तक? Okay, thank you. So, if it is, I'm not saying it's wrong to join into industry after this, but if you go after B farm, you will face a saturation at a point of time. आगे जाके जब आप एक level promotion लेना चाहते हो, तो you will see that if you are in chemistry, biotechnology, or some analytical domain, these are the guys who will have better understanding than you, and you will somewhere be one step behind, even though you have done a professional B Farm course. And if you see your own batchmates who join after 2 years after doing their M Farm or MS, they will be the one who will be going up the ladder, because at some point in the industry, when it comes to giving promotions or it comes to going to one level ahead, your education also matters. Whereas if you are B Farm, you might have good experience. ये बंदा MS करके 2 साल बाद आया है. You are already having 3 years experience. This guy is just a fresher, but still he is an MS candidate. He will be preferred over a B Farm or a BSc candidate. So that is the reason where pursuing a master makes a difference in terms of industry exposure. Because when you go up the ladder, it is not just your experience and knowledge, but also a degree, that tag which you need. So make sure that you are very clear with what you want to do, what has a future demand, and what you need to choose. See, these are the various subjects that you can choose for your MPharm or MS in any of the colleges in India. Of course, NIPER being the top priority. It's pharmacology, pharmaceutics, chemistry, cognizy, analysis, biotech, cosmetics. But again, I would highlight the same thing. These are the subjects which are always going to be in demand, that is pharmacology and pharmaceutics. And यहाँ पे अपने को कोई दिक्कत नहीं आएगी, because this is our heart and soul of pharmacy. Whereas if you go to chemistry, analysis, biotech, these are the streams जहाँ पे BSc, MSc या some other course करने वाले लोग आ सकते हैं industry में, who have a upper hand over us, because that has been their hardcore, and our hardcore or main domain is pharmaceutics, pharmacology. So always, if you have chosen these, there is nobody who is going to touch you. You will be the king in industry. Whereas if you have this, you will face a little saturation or competition. And then going, I'm not saying cosmetics or pharmacognosy doesn't have a demand, but it is slightly on the lower side. The opportunities to go further with it a little less. So you need to be very sure before you make a choice. Again, if you do core MBA and pharma MBA. Pharma MBA, of course, a yes from NIPER. Also, if you go into some private colleges and choose core MBA, these guys will have a upper hand over you because core MBA has a vast domain of opportunities open to them. Whereas if you choose pharma MBA, you will only be particularly stuck to pharma industry. So if you are someone who came into B farm but अभी आप अगर नहीं चाहते हो कि मुझे जिंदगी भर यही चीज करनी है, you still have an option to divert yourself to core MBA, and you will also have basics of B farm, and again choose something MBA in maybe finance or MBA in administration, something that helps you pursue your further interest. बट ऑल्सो रिमेंबर वन थिंग, अगर आप अभी कंफ्यूज हो कि मैं एम फार्म करूँ, एम एस करूँ या एम बी ए करूँ, तो प्लीज रिमेंबर यू कैन ऑलवेज डू एम फार्म एंड एम एस एंड देन गो टू एम बी ए अगर आप कंफ्यूज हो. बट अगर आप एम बी ए कर रहे हो तो आप वापस एम फार्म में नहीं आ सकते हो. इट्स वेरी डिफिकल्ट एट दैट पॉइंट. Again, you will sit back and answer GPAT. Again, you will have to grind all your basics and go back here. बट अगर आप चाहे कि आप एमबीए करना है, आप जिंदगी में कभी भी आगे जाके कर सकते हो. बट आपको एमएस या एम फार्म जो भी करना है, दिस इज द राइट टाइम आफ्टर योर बी फार्म टू चूज अ स्ट्रीम ऑफ योर चॉइस. MBA is always going to be open for you. If you move, or after M.Pharm you join industry after 2 years, if you feel that I need to go back, you can always take a distance learning MBA course, which will help you fetch some better opportunities or maybe help you go up the ladder with a little higher package. But remember, you cannot again come back and sit to do your M.Pharm. Also, if you have a great amount of financial support, you can always think of studying abroad, but that is altogether a different game, which will involve huge amount of money. You'll have to sit for exams like GRE, TOEFL. So this is a complete different picture for a certain bunch of students who really wish to do it either out of curiosity or because आपके पास बहुत बहुत पैसा है, कोई करना चाहता है. But I would really not suggest it at a master's level. I would say, because for master's level there are plenty of opportunities which you have in India and which are pretty decent. Of course you can consider studying abroad for your PhD. अगर आप masters में जाओगे आपका बहुत खर्चा होगा. While if you go to study abroad, you go with a certain amount of stipend when you go for your PhD. आप masters में जाओगे, nobody is going to give you a stipend. If you go for PhD, you will get some scholarships and stipend. Also, if you have done some masters and jobs after that, you will have at least some savings which could help you suffice your future expenses. So consider going there only if you're really strong on a financial side and you have a desire to do PhD. Yes, there's a question about NIPER Mohali MBA. Yes, there is definitely Pharma MBA in all of the NIPERs, and you can definitely go for it. It is also an interesting domain. You will have a lot of exposure to other industry aspects when you choose MBA. Whereas if you go to MS courses, it will be more of lab work. MBA is also definitely a good choice. So for that, you need to clear GPAT first, then you can appear for NIPER entrance and you can choose MBA for your choice. And of course, they do offer decent placements. So the placements again will differ for MS M.Pharm and they will differ for MBA. See, जब आप M.Pharm या MS करोगे, तो you will be into domains that is if a pharmaceutics person, you will be into production, R&D, right? आप either production या R&D में रहोगे, tablets, capsules and all that lab work. Production, R&D is going to be your domain. If you are a chemistry या analysis वाला student, you will be into QA QC analytics domain. अब अगर आप और कुछ ये अलग ले लो, मान लो biotechnology or something, you will be into little biotechnology industry which is quite booming in India, but again you will face upper hand competition by other people. So the placements after MS and M.Pharm are different. Whereas if you go into MBA, you will have jobs of data analysis, then business analyst, competitive intelligence, all this analytical roles, business development. But then sales and marketing is an ever booming thing in India. And if you are someone who wants to be in Mumbai, if you're presently in Mumbai, you will have a lot of jobs of sales and medical representatives, medrep. So that is where your career could start, maybe at the initial level. Going further, you can go into product management, PMT roles. So yes, the opportunities are different for MS, M.Pharm and MBA, and at the end of the day, it's your choice where you want to work. And trust me, this is a very big domain presently, that is data analysis or business analyst. You will see a lot of things maybe on LinkedIn also, people who are analysts at various levels, data analyst, business analyst, competitive intelligence. So, but for all these things you will need some other skills. सिर्फ अपने pharmacy का knowledge या ये 4 subject का knowledge काफी नहीं होगा. You need some management skills, because as you come from an MBA background they would expect you to have some other skills, competitive skills. Also, as we know, competitive intelligence, artificial intelligence आपने सुना होगा. Today AI, machine learning, big data science, everything is booming. So AI, ML, competitive intelligence. So as a part of your role into corporates, if you go into these domains of analytics, that is business analyst, data analyst, or research analyst, in terms of MBA, I'm not talking about MS or MPharm, I'm talking for MBA. If you go into these domains, of course you will have to know some additional things which is interesting to explore. Sadly, it is not a part of our curriculum today in MPharm and all. So you will have to know some programming languages like MS SQL, that is also known as SQL, Python, C++, or SAS. I'm not saying please do not get worried or scared that you need to know all of this, but at least one programming language. If you know some programming language and you are a pharma graduate with an MBA or MS background, trust me, your demand in industry is going to be doubled. Because it's not only engineering today, even pharma graduates who are into corporates, they are working on SQL and Python. So whenever you have time, spend some time. Maybe you can do it through any actual tutored courses, or you can go into some free courses online, but try to learn some programming language. It is always going to help you. It's not going to cause you any loss. At least one programming, if you have this in your resume at the start of your career when you're entering as a fresher, that yeah, this guy is an MS in say pharmaceutics, but yet he knows Python, or he's a pharma MBA but he knows SQL. So one or two programming languages, you can pick up any for that matter, but it will really, really help you a lot when you jump into industry. Also, even if you are a core domain person, whether you are pharmaceutics or pharmacology, you again end up in these roles. I have seen people, my own friends, who have been in MS pharmacology and pharmaceutics from NIPER, but today they are as a business analyst. So they have a strong fundamental understanding of the pharma field, but they are also learning SQL or competitive intelligence because that is the need of the hour. So it is not that just MBA people need this. Everybody today, if you are looking for some opportunities which is going to give you a decent corporate experience along with a good package, you need the skills with you. If you are looking for clinical research, then I would suggest pharmaceutics and pharmacology should be your choice, because that will help you go into clinical domains of it. You can also get a lot of jobs into pharmacovigilance domain. So for vigilance, usually pharmaceutics candidates and pharmacology candidates are preferred, because you learn a lot about clinical trials, adverse reactions, patient reporting, and all those stuff. So also in that case, in vigilance also somewhere, and in patient reporting, you need to have data analysis and understanding. Remember, going further, everywhere, wherever data is involved, let it be any data, patient data, pharmaceutical company, Excel is going to be a bread and butter for daily. If you do not know Excel, you need to learn it right away. It is not just about the basics that we have used till today. You need to know it a little further using various formulas, lookup techniques, and a lot of other things, because this is going to be very, very basic to enter into industry. अगर आप Excel में कुछ करना चाहोगे, तो this is the right time. Whenever you have some free time, or if you're bored with your studies, just go and explore. There is a lot of content available in YouTube, because Excel and then some programming language. If you're done with this, and as a fresher, if you enter into an industry, trust me, you will get a very good exposure. And we have just pinned the feedback form in the comment section, so don't forget to fill it, so we can help you better if you have a good response. So moving further, अगर आप बिजनेस करना चाहोगे, आप इंडस्ट्री में नहीं जाना चाहते हो, इफ यू वांट टू सेट अप योर ओन industry, you need to know what are the inputs that you need, what products you need, how you will minimize the cost, ensure quality, or improve the products. This is altogether a different game. Just a quick brief, there is nothing much, because I'm not an expert not an entrepreneur to tell you how to set up an industry, but maybe just giving you a quick hint how, if you have to set up an industry, it's not again easy because it's pharma industry. There will be a lot of rules and regulations that will come. So you need to know several things about it. Also, if you want to do a startup, you need to have a lot of brainstorming ideas, whether you want to do a retail chemist store, whether you want to be a wholesaler or distributor, how is going to be the supply chain network, what is the space requirement, what are the FDA rules and regulations that you need to know, what are the regulatory guidelines that you need to know. Here again, if you have somebody who is from an MPharm or MS regulatory affairs background, it's going to help you in startups as well. So try to understand and know what you want to do going further. Coming again back to what we were discussing, business analytics, it's a really huge domain. And there are a lot of sub things and a lot of opportunities in this. Also, you get certain kind of remote opportunities and work from home options in this as well. While if you are into production, R&D, clinical and lab work, it is mainly on site or on the field job. Whereas this is a domain which can give you certain flexibility as well. Also, of course, there is a lot of work. It's not that you're going to be free for your lifetime. You will have a lot of work to do and a lot of responsibilities and challenging projects which you will experience. But yes, it does come with its own advantages. If you're somebody who is interested into medical coding, this is again a good thing if you are interested in pharmacology. So it is, this is the right time, I would say, for you to understand what is your area of interest, what you want to do going further, and what is the demand for it, because that is very much more important. Because say if you enter into something for which there is no demand or the options are limited, क्या गारंटी है कि 2 साल बाद आप कोर्स कंप्लीट करने के बाद आपको इस चीज के लिए इतना ही डिमांड मिलेगा. So always choose something which is going to sustain. Then vigilance is also about all about adverse reaction reporting and things about new product launch and how clinical trials happen. So again, a pharmacology guy would have an upper hand. Also, IPR is an interesting domain. If intellectual property rights, it's all about patents, trademarks, copyrights, pharmaceutical products. That is, especially the companies which are into R&D have this department of IPR. Generics, those who are generic manufacturers, they do not have this. Whereas if you are an innovator, you have an extensive R&D. IPR is a domain which is also very booming and quite interesting, but it is a little more on the legal aspects. So the opportunities are huge, but you need to choose the right one. And these are the domains wherein only pharma graduates have an preference, that is production, R&D, vigilance, regulatory affairs, IPR. So you will not face a competition from BSc and MSc candidates in this. Whereas if you go into QA, QC analysis, you will have, see, agar aap chahe, chemistry is not bad. I'm saying even I personally like chemistry, but if I tomorrow go, even if how much of a strong is my chemistry and I love synthesizing drugs and whatever, but if I have an MS organic chemistry person, his knowledge is going to be better than me. So this is where you will face saturation or competition from others. Whereas if I go into pharmacovigilance, I will have my peers who are from pharma background only. Also clinical research, as we know, there are different phases of clinical trials and a lot of other things. So if you are somebody who is interested into this also, yes, but again the opportunities are slightly limited, especially in India. But if you are very much interested into it, you can definitely give it a try. Also, there is a veterinary division wherein how the pharmaceutical industry operates in this chain. So there is a demand for this as well, because the regulations a little bit not so streamlined in this case. You can deep dive into it. You can also connect with the doctors and build a network of distributors and medicals, because currently this how the supply chain is for normal pharma industry is quite stable. That is, you will have a manufacturer, wholesaler, distributor, and a retailer, whereas that is not happening in case of veterinary division. So this is somewhere which is an untapped need, and you can definitely jump into it because it has huge margins as well. And sales and marketing, especially for the pharma MBAs, as well as even after B.Pharm, if you do not do your masters, you can get a job of this, that is medical representatives, medrep. See, at the initial days you will have a little of having hassles of roaming around for, because it is a ground field job, that is sales. You will have to roam from town to town. But yes, of course, it has great amount of returns in terms of money, because apart from your salary, you get a lot of incentives, awards, and recognition. And the future here is great. That is, you can go into PMT, business development, product management, project management. So yes, the initial days might be tough, but the future is definitely good. So if you're someone who is interested into this, is also a good option. So see, there are n number of options. We are just trying to show you the opportunities which are available. You are the one who is going to design and choose your future. So if you have any questions, we are happy to help you and assist you. If you wish to know how to prepare for GPAT NIPER, if you need any assistance from us, you can definitely get in touch with us. These are our contact numbers. You can follow the YouTube channel, follow us on Instagram, contact on any of the WhatsApp numbers. We do have a lot of ongoing courses to prepare you for GPAT, NIPER, or any other entrance exams. Also, a lot of study material is there, which is being designed by NIPER and NIPER alumni students especially. So it will help you pace your studies in the right direction. So that was it from my side, and I would like to keep the session open for you all to ask any questions and queries that you have. You can type it in the chat box. सबको सब कुछ समझा है? Any doubts? You want me to repeat anything? Yes, is everyone there? Yes, सब चले गए. It wasn't that long session for you to get bored. Yes, any questions, any doubts, anything else you would like to know? Please fill up the feedback form which is being posted in the chat. You can WhatsApp us anytime for any questions that you have, any help that you would need from our side. Or any suggestions you have, you would like to take up some different topic, we can arrange a next session. If you want to know about a particular thing more in detail, please feel free to give us any suggestions. Okay, I don't see any questions. So, thank you. Thank you for joining the session, and happy to answer if there are any more queries, and or you can drop just a text on the given number and we'll revert back to you. Thank you and have a great day. I see there is a question about medical coding or SaaS programming. Yeah, definitely. You can just start learning some basics of SaaS programming, which will help you, and then you can get into a respective domain to further explore it. SaaS is always going to be in demand, so it's a good opportunity. Okay, we can end the session. Thank you.